Ba-da-ba-ba. Hello everybody, Yakin off here. Sleepy as usual, but overall, something's going on in the apartment. That's weird. So, got a bunch of stuff done last time. Might be a bit quiet, but that's just that. Anyway, where was I? We had just beaten that gym, barely. Our Pokemon were in pretty bad shape, only Swallow came out of it unfainted. I feel like I may be just a little underpowered. Or a little more underpowered than I want to be. Yep, I want to risk my Pokemon. So after a shit show of getting wrecked by Flannery, with Attract, a very powerful move, mind you. Especially if the anime is to be believed. They love their Attract in the anime. We can now go down here. So the tasks that we've been given involve going to beat our dad, and that we now have access to this desert. We may as well be on foot in this desert because it's easier than it's easier to be on foot than it is to be on bike in the desert. And there's a few interesting Pokemon here, which is Baltoy. Does Baltoy have Levitate? I can't remember. That won't hurt me, but oof, it does have self-destruct. Guess we survived the self-destruct. I have to repeatedly press on things? Jeez, that's slow. I get it if it's mid-battle. Mirage Tower. And here is a hell of a Pokemon, Trapinch. Hard as hell to raise, but quite rewarding. Trapinch evolves into Vibrava and then Flygon. Again, ground types. At the moment it's just the ground type if I'm right. Not exactly the most powerful, but pretty good. Not that there's much point in us taking one on, it'd just be a waste of energy really. What we want to do is probably just find trainers and, you know, look for one or another encounters. Don't really. Oh, it's got arena trap, so that's gonna be a pain in the ass if we get into fights in here. Trapinch can have arena trap, which makes it so you can't escape, which you just saw. I'm gonna probably throw up a rappel or two, just so that we can explore this desert without getting into too many encounters. There's a top exit of the desert. Here's a picnicker, I think. That's not how deciding who looks better works. I knew everyone was crazy, it's a camper. Why would you go camping out in this desert? Against Numels. Anyway, so this area has quite a few Pokemon trainers, and Mirage Tower is the main attraction here. I think it's Mirage Tower, anyway. That tower is the main attraction here. I don't know if it's actually called Mirage Tower. Hey? Hey? What? That was weird. How does the magnitude miss? Did I misstep? That's better. Much better. Oh, he thinks he can dig. Huh. Well, that shouldn't be a problem for magnitude. Magnitude should. Really? Are you saying that magnitude can't hit someone digging? And Earthquake can? They're the same move. It makes no sense. Okay, this is ridiculous. That is really ridiculous, to be honest. Go Marsh Tom. Wow, that really hurts a lot. That was rather tough for a level 23 Sandshrew. You shouldn't have had to look at your side. Let's just put Marshtomp in the lead for this area. Right. I thought wearing a cape with undies on the outside of your tights would make you feel like a superhero. But, okay, apparently it's these goggles that we're wearing instead. Although, what's a superhero like in the Pokemon world? They must be pretty powerful. I mean, a normal person in the Pokemon world is like, hey, yeah, I can resist getting hit by I can survive being hit by a Hyper Beam. And Pokemon exists, so you gotta be more powerful than Pokemon, so what's a superhero in the Pokemon world like? It's a good question. How powerful do you have to be a superhero? And if you take the anime world, for instance, you have some fairly ordinary people doing who are considered fairly ordinary doing some pretty weird stuff. Oh well. We're just here to kick ass and take names. We'll probably literally be taking quite a few names, as usual. For match call, which I really hate. I really just hate that it interrupts me and says, hey, yeah. For some reason that bothers me so much. Well, that's good. Jeez. Why am I yawning? Ignore that, please. Anyway. Jeez. Why are you having a picnic in a desert? You people are absolutely insane. All I wanted to do was have a nice time with my Pokemon looking for treasure. So what you do in deserts, you go around looking for treasure. That's what video games have taught me. Deserts have treasure. So, I'm looking for treasure. And I'm looking for experience with Marshtomp. The problem is Baltoys and Sandshrews aren't evolved, so they give little XP. Anyway, Watergun will win this for us, and I am kind of confused. I need a topic to talk about. I need something to actually talk about. Having to be cheap on... having to be cheap. Yeah. That's something to talk about. If you're not making a lot of money, you're like, hey, I gotta be cheap. And then there's the question, if the cheap, as in buying like cheap food, like if the cheap food's so bad that you can barely eat it, it may as well just stop. I've been having to do a lot of budgeting lately, you know. since, you know, I'm a student and all. You gotta actually think about where your money's going and what you're using it for. You can live on surprisingly little money. The problem is, takedown's like, no, I've never really liked self-damaging moves in Pokemon series. Yes, I'll change Pokemon, I'll change to Manectric. I've never really liked, moves like Takedown. Yet in other RPGs, I like the idea of having a double-edged sword and using like a Dark Knight's Darkness. I've always considered that to be a like if you've taken the, I think it's the original Final Fantasy IV, Cecil's Darkness is a move that hits all enemies. And is effective against a lot of enemies, but you have to sacrifice HP to use it. That's cool. That's useful. Yeah, it's got a purpose. That's the point that I'm trying to make. It's like it's worth actually sacrificing HP to use this. So, but takedown and such, it's a matter of how much damage you deal to the enemy, so it's not, I'm sacrificing a portion of my HP, it's like, I'm going to use takedown on a Chansey, I'm going to die. Although, Chansey's probably the worst Pokemon to use takedown on, to be honest. Ooh, and a Sand Slash, this will get us some good XP. Water Gun! A Doug. You know what I'm gonna do to be a dick? Send out Swallow. It doesn't affect flying types. So cheap. I take damage, but it's still so cheap. Oh yeah, that's a feature of this area that I should probably talk about, the fact that it's constantly a sandstorm here. In the desert it's always a sandstorm, there's no other weather effect, it's always just a sandstorm. Just want to point that out. Just wanted to point that out, the weather you can see on screen is in fact the weather that is going on. Go on, turn around, Tycho. I want to have a double battle. Yay, double battle! Bribing me with food. I'm not that hungry. Despite the fact that I actually haven't had breakfast yet. Well, that's just how that's just that I get up in the morning and record. Because it's probably the most opportune time for me, really. Other people aren't really all that awake. They're not gonna be listening. And it's not really that big a deal. Water Gun on Taylor and Mac Punch on Sentry. Woot woot, we're probably not even going to kill them both. Oh, we killed one of them. So, that was a well thought out procedure. Nuzleaf. Is Nuzleaf a dark type yet? Because if it is, Bellroom will wreck him. Breloom. Breloom. That's super effective. He's a dark type already. Dark types are super weak, weak to fighting types. You could consider that part of a triangle. Pokemon has lots of triangles, like one A is effective against B, B is effective against C, and C is effective against A. There's a lot of that in Pokemon, like it's water is effective against fire, fire is effective against grass, grass is effective against water. Fighting is effective against dark, dark is effective against psychic, psychic is effective against fighting. Though it might have used to be. Well, I think you can also say instead of dark, that fighting is effective against bug, I think. Although I might be wrong. Is this the last Sandshrew? I don't know, I wasn't paying too much attention. I was talking about Bellroom, Pikachu. No, that's not what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about how Marshtomp can't land a single hit. Huh. I was talking about something else. No idea what. Is Mag Punch super effective against ground types? No, it's not. Oh, the Sand Slash is down. Anyway, that was our double battle dealt with. Yay. You can't bribe me. I don't care about sandwiches. Well, I kind of do. Okay. I think we're at the point where we've just about explored the entire desert. I mean, there's this, but I think a bunch of you know what that is. There's an item down here. The TM for Sandstorm. Given it does not get rid of the Sandstorm. There's a rock here that, well, a bunch of us know what it is. Oh. Yeah, you're right, you shouldn't. Why would you come here for a picnic? There's lots of other places you could go, you know, like, I think Route 104 is not too bad. Is Route 104? You know, just go south a little bit. Just go to the southern or northern well, southern peripherally exit of the desert, and you find a nice grassy, maybe a little rocky area, but it's good for picnicking. Lombre, yes, I will switch up to Manectric so that he has a chance to fight, because he normally doesn't get much chance. He hasn't got much chance lately, and I like my electric types. They're both going to get buffeted by this, but that's okay. He's a Lombre is a water grass type, so he's not resistant to this. Fake Out, however, will flinch us. Anyway, we both get hit by Sandstorm, so we're both losing a little bit of HP. I can't remember how much damage Sandstorm actually does, because it does a set damage. Like, it's like a lot of things in this game, they do a set portion of your HP and damage. So like I think it's Poison does a 16th normally, unless it's from Toxic, which I can't remember how high it goes, but it goes, I think it's a 16th, an 8th, then a quarter maybe? Maybe a third, maybe 3/8, maybe 2/8, maybe 3/16ths, I don't know. I don't know how much damage it actually does and how long it takes for it to kill you, but it will kill you eventually. Anyway, let's go into this tower. I wonder if this is any different. It does have wild encounters. Anything different in here? Sandshrew! Oh, adorable little Sandshrew. Too bad you're gonna die. Sandshrew. I like Sandshrew, but there's no point in us actually catching one. It's not like we're going to use it on the team. We've already got 2 ground type Pokemon. We don't need a third. That's really the main reason we're not actually capturing Trapinch. Yeah, see this guy? The main reason we're not getting one of these and raising one of them, for all the difficulty that it poses, is because, well, it would A, take too much effort, and B, it's a ground type. We already have ground types. We don't need we don't need all our Pokemon to be ground types. I'm gonna use a Repel, which I'm swiftly running out of Repels. It's like using Swift. You're never missing, yet you're running out of Repels. Oh, I have to do. This is. Damn it, no. That's a pain in the ass. I hate Mark Bike puzzles. Okay, that's a trap. We need Rock Smash to get through here. We have Rock Smash. We may need Strength to get through a puzzle. No, we only need Rock Smash. And we get to choose one of these things. Now we have Root Fossil or Claw Fossil. I always take the Claw Fossil. I just don't like the Pokemon that comes from the Root Fossil. To be honest, I find it. Well, it's just an aesthetic thing. I just don't like it. And that's just me. And then again, I'm not that big on fossil Pokemon. We're not going to be using a fossil Pokemon in our party. And the tower collapses behind us. Don't worry, we can get the fossil later in the game if we really want to. But that's that. Anyway, our next goal. What is our next goal exactly? Well, we've done that. We need to take on Norman, don't we? Our annoying ass dad who was like, yeah, it's great that you're on an adventure. Doesn't know me at all. Doesn't know me at all. Ah, well, anyway. We've made our way back to Marvel City. We're going to rest up our Pokemon. I think we're going to call it here. It may be a bit of a short one, but I think we've got what we need done for today. I mean, there's not really much else for us to do other than take on Norman at his gym. Or our old man. Breloom may actually be the best for that fight, because it's a normal type gym and oh shit, it's got that weird ass puzzle that you answer. I can't remember how you get all the trainers. I'm in a bit of trouble with that. I mean, I didn't get all the trainers in Thing's gym either, and that was, well, a problem. I didn't get all the trainers in Flannery's gym, and that's quite a disappointment. Anyway, mine has been Akinoff. I hope you've had a good time, and good night, or something like that anyway. Next time, we're off to... where are we off to again? I'll tell you in a sec. Petalburg City. I should remember that. Petalburg's one of the like major names in the cities. We're off to Petalburg City to take on our dad and get our 5th... Is it our... Yeah, our 5th gym badge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe 6th one's there, 7th one's there. No, 6th,
6th one's there, 7th one's there, 8th one's there. That's just Lily Cove City, and Pokemon League's there. Of course, the most interesting place is just the town that's floating on the water that we all know about, because we live in Hoenn. Because we watch the news and media, and they talk about things. Anyway, see ya. Good night, or something like that. Anyway, I'm probably repeating myself.